Hello, today is 8/3 of 26, and I am here with a video of what I eat in a day on my keto journey. If you're new here, my name is Christy. I changed my diet to a high protein, moderate fat, low carb diet in April of 2024. It is currently 8 a.m., and I'm up a little early today. So I have my coffee here, which I made with just 1 cup of Fairlife whole milk. And then I have a donut from Conscious Comforts, which is a local bakery in my area that makes gluten-free, sugar-free donuts. I plan to go out to lunch today with my husband. We're going to go to Chick-fil-A. I will get a 12 count of their grilled nuggets and a side salad. And I'm going to take my own dressing. So I'm going to use this Walden Farms sun-dried tomato vinaigrette. I like it a lot. And then I also have some leftover pasta sauce. It's just meat and Simply Nature brand pasta sauce. Um, Tomato basil is the flavor, like such a little bit left. It's hardly any here at all, like maybe 4 bites. So I'm just going to eat that up too for my lunch. As part of my dinner tonight, I plan to have a mug cake, a protein mug cake. So I'm going to walk you through making that. It is something I've made before, but I am adjusting it. I found that I think the added cocoa powder in the recipe makes it a bit bitter, a bit more bitter than I would like it. So I'm going to try removing the cocoa powder, which I've actually done before, and I did like the flavor of it, but it was a little moist. It left the cake just kind of a little gummy almost. So I think that the cocoa powder like absorbs some of the liquid from the cake and makes it, not as wet. So I'm going to try adding in place of the cocoa powder. I'm going to try adding in some oat fiber. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, but I'm not going to add that much oat fiber because it's going to absorb more. So I'm going to just use 1 tablespoon of the oat fiber in place of the 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I have my cup here. It's a mug cake. I am going to add to it 1 large egg, along with half the shell, apparently. And then I'm going to add in my tablespoon of oat fiber, and then 2 tablespoons of almond milk, and it's unsweetened almond milk. Oh, and then I need a dash of salt. I often forget to add the salt, and then I wish I added the salt. And then I need a scoop of protein powder. So it needs to be a beef protein powder for this recipe. I haven't actually tried it with whey, but I've made other mug cakes using whey protein powder, and they always end up like dry because whey heated up like dries out. So that's really why I wanted to try this recipe in the first place, is because it called for beef protein powder. All right, so I need 28 grams. And I'm using this Be Well cocoa powder. I'm sorry, not cocoa powder, but protein powder. This is my favorite beef like brand of protein powders. I just find the flavor to be really, really nice, better than any that I've ever tried. Okay, so I have that all in there. I'm going to whisk that up. Okay, no more lumps. And I'm going to add a half teaspoon of baking powder. Get that mixed in, and then I'm going to pop it in the microwave. And it's been a little bit since I've made this. I think it usually takes like 2 minutes to make. My cake is done. I turned it out onto my cooling rack. I don't like warm cake, so that's part of why I make my cake in the morning, and then I'll have it later today. I'll let you know how it tastes. There are 2 other things that I would like to make today, and I probably should start with the bread, but I just don't really feel like making it right now, and I might not make it today, but we'll see. And the other thing, it's an oat fiber and flax meal bread. Pretty sure I've made it before, but not positive. I'm also going to make, which I actually am going to make, some strawberry chia jam. So I've got in my pot here a cup of frozen strawberries and a quarter cup of water. I'm just going to bring this up to a boil and kind of like smash down the fruit as it gets softened. Okay, now that I've got it to this point, I'm going to add in my half tablespoon of sweetener. The original recipe calls for stevia. I'm using a monk fruit allulose blend because that's what I prefer. And just kind of let this cook for a little bit more. And then I'm supposed to take it off the heat and then add in my chia seeds. And I'll need 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Okay, so I'm going to do that and then add in my chia seeds. Mix this all together, and then I'll just let it sit, and I'll try it later and let you know what it tastes like. Today is Monday, which is a day that I have decided I want to try to use to kind of make ahead some food for our weeks, because we're just really going into a really busy season of our lives. So today I'm going to make a meal that I plan to eat on Wednesday for dinner. It's a Korean beef meal. I have made it before. I'm going to make a change to it though. It is very, very good, and I will just walk you through making it. I have in my saute pan here a pound of ground beef. Now, often I will double this recipe like I do a lot of recipes just to like double the amount of meat. But this is all that I have thought out. So it'll really just be one meal for maybe like me and one of my kids, or maybe like my kids might like split a serving and then, they'll have something else to go with it. I am going to add to this a quarter teaspoon of ground black pepper and a half teaspoon of salt. And then the change that I'm making to this recipe, I will link to the original recipe in the description below. The original recipe calls for like cooking cauliflower rice in some butter and then like setting it to the side and making this and then like serving this on top of the cauliflower. I don't like that. I don't like the flavor of cauliflower enough to like do that. So I thought that I would just add cauliflower to my meat and it'll like absorb the meat flavors, but also the flavors of like the sauce that I'm going to put in it. And my hope is that it'll just kind of like meld in with it, and we'll be able to get that nutrition and a little bit of like a little bit of fiber too, which is kind of really what I want it for. So I'm going to add like half a bag of this cauliflower. I don't think I want to add the whole bag. It's a 10-ounce bag. So I'm going to add about half of it. And we'll just see how it turns out. So for right now, I'm just going to cook and crumble this down before I add in the rest of my ingredients. While I'm waiting for that to brown, I'm going to go ahead and mix together the rest of my ingredients. So I have in here a quarter cup of soy sauce. I'm supposed to use 3/4 of a teaspoon of sesame oil, but I don't have that. I don't even think I have like a quarter teaspoon. So I think what I'll probably do is add in some sesame seeds to get more of that sesame flavor, which I really, really do enjoy. And I say probably as I'm actually like getting out my sesame seeds. So I'm just going to put some of these in here to get more flavor. And as I am doing this, I realized that I forgot a couple ingredients into my meat. So I need some ginger and some garlic. I need a teaspoon of ginger and 3 cloves of garlic. So I'm just going to use this pre-minced garlic and get that into my pan. Okay, I got that in, got that mixed around. The original recipe calls for like browning the meat and then adding in the garlic and ginger, but that doesn't make any sense to me. Why wouldn't I want that flavor kind of like throughout all of the meat? So that's why I did it that way. Okay, and then I need a half teaspoon of red pepper flakes. So get those in there. And then I need 3 tablespoons of brown sweetener. So I'm using a monk fruit allulose blend. It's just my favorite thing to use is a monk fruit allulose blend. And I'm just going to kind of stir these around a bit and wait for that meat to get cooked all the way through. Okay, so I lied. I'm not actually waiting for it to get cooked all the way through. I am just waiting for it to get cooked most of the way through. There's a little bit of pink left because I'm going to add my sauce and then I need to let it cook a little bit longer. So I do this, like a lot of recipes will say, okay, brown it, and then like you cook it for another 20 minutes. Well, then it's just overcooked meat. So I am going to go ahead and add in my sauce now when I still have some pink in my meat. And then I'm just going to let this come together and thicken up a bit, and that meat will get cooked the rest of the way through. And voila, I have this done. It is a little thinner than I would normally leave it. Like if we were eating it right now, I would let it reduce down a little bit more. But because we're going to reheat it and reheating it will suck some of that moisture out, I do want to leave a bit more of the moisture in it. I am going to give it a try just to see how it is with that cauliflower cooked inside it. Yeah, that's good. Like you can tell the cauliflower is there just by the texture of it. It's got a little bit of like a crispness to it, but it doesn't taste like cauliflower. It tastes like the sauce. So that's fantastic. It's about 3 o'clock. I am back from the gym. I did heavy arms and legs today, and then I walked on the stair stepper at level 6 for 30 minutes. Now I'm ready to eat my last meal of the day, which seems pretty early, but my body does better when I eat early, and I have to leave at 3:45, and then I won't be able to eat until like 6:30, and I just don't want to eat that late. So I've got my mug cake. I will give that a try, but then I also have a chicken taco salad here. So it's just some canned chicken. I have 3 tablespoons of Okios Pro plain Greek yogurt, a couple tablespoons of salsa, a bit of ground cumin, and then I also added in some nutritional yeast, just a sprinkling of it, just for the nutrition of it, for the specifically the vitamin B that are in here. And I'm just gonna mix this all together, and then I'll just eat it like a bowl. Okay, so I will also try my cake. Yeah, the consistency is much better. Um, and I like the flavor too. It's not quite as chocolatey. So maybe I want to do like a tablespoon of, or maybe less than a tablespoon, maybe like a half tablespoon of oat fiber and 1 tablespoon of the cocoa powder, just to give it a little more chocolate flavor. But I would say that it turned out decent. I like the flavor of it. I just wish it was a little more chocolate, but the consistency is not bad. After I had my cake and taco salad, I needed a little bit more. So I had a protein bar, um, upside down, a Fulfill protein bar, because I kind of just needed something really quick as I was going out the door. So I ended up with about 1,500 calories today. My protein is 186, my net carbs are 28, and my fat is 59. I am in a higher caloric deficit today, but yesterday I actually like broke even. So it's okay. Maybe I'll see it tomorrow.